Hello and good morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss about your chapter number 1 of Science Standard 10, that is chemical reactions and equations. From this name of the chapter, you definitely will have the two questions pop up in your mind. That must be that what exactly we mean by the chemical reactions and what we exactly mean by the chemical equations, right? So in simple words, if I wanted to explain a chemical reaction, then I can say that the changes which are taken place in our surrounding are simply known as chemical reactions. If I give an example for the chemical reaction, then you definitely know that the ripening of fruits, right, corrosion of iron materials, or if I given more examples than cooking of food, right? These all are an examples of the chemical reactions, right? And you know that all these reactions are taken place in our surrounding, right? We know that this is happen, but what it exactly happens in that reaction, that's we don't know, right? So today in this chapter we are trying to understand what exactly we mean by the chemical reaction, right? And how many types of chemical reactions are there, that is what we'll study, right? The second question which will be there in your mind, that is chemical equations, right? Now, the chemical equations is nothing but the symbolic representation of the chemical reaction. If I wanted to say, if there is a chemical reaction happens for a conversion of milk into a curd, right? Then if I'll write it into the words, then it is going to be very long, right? And I don't want let that happen. That's why what will I do? I will represent that particular phenomena or that particular change or reaction into the symbolic form, and that symbolic representation will be considered as in chemical equations. Okay, so let's just go. Here on this slide, you definitely can see that whenever a chemical change occurs, we can say that a chemical reaction has taken place. I've just said, right, when there will be the chemical change, you must have studied this particular thing, the physical change and chemical change in your standard 6 and 7. Right. So I hope you guys are clear with these two concepts, the chemical change and physical change. Right. So whenever there is the chemical change occurs, right, we can say that there is a chemical reaction has taken place. Here in the figure, you can see this experiment has been done since very long. When you guys were in a sixth standard, seventh standard, from the sixth, seventh standard, we are doing this activity and this experiment, right? What it is exactly? You are being told to take the magnesium ribbon, right? And you need to burn that magnesium ribbon on the Bunsen burner or any candle or a flame, whichever you like, right? So you can hold your magnesium ribbon with the pair of tongs, right? And when you will put it on the flame of Bunsen burner or a candle of a spirit lamp or anything like that, right? What you will see, you will be able to see that the magnesium ribbon starts burning, right? And when it starts burning, it produces the light, and there is a very specific name of it, dazzling white light, right? So it starts burning with the dazzling white light, right? And it produces the, yes, ash. What it will produce? It will produce ash, right? So when you will dissolve that ash into the water or something, you will come to know that this ash is of magnesium oxide. What it will be exactly? It will be the magnesium oxide. It would definitely would have changed its property acidic to basic as well, right? So from this you definitely can see and can say that chemical change has taken place. And as I said, if there is any chemical change taken place in our surrounding, we definitely can say that there is a chemical reaction has taken place. Okay. Here again, you have the one more example for the chemical reaction. You can see there is a conical flask, and in that conical flask, we have put an wooden cork, right, with the one hole, and there is a glass tube fitted into it, right. And at the bottom of the conical flask, we have capped the dilute sulfuric acid with the zinc granules into it, right. You all are aware with this, right. When this zinc sorry, the dilute sulfuric acid reacts with the zinc granules, what is going to form? It is going to form the hydrogen gas, right. And as you guys can see, the hydrogen gas is getting evolved, right, and will come out through the glass tube. So here you can see the reason, and again chemical change has taken place, right. So if the chemical change is taken place, then definitely the chemical reaction is also taken place. Let's see. The following observations help us to determine whether the chemical reaction has taken place. We have did two experiments, two activities over here, and from those two activities we definitely can make this thing very clear that the chemical change has taken place, right. So what are the indications, how we can come to know whether the chemical change or the chemical reaction has taken place, right. So there are sort of instructions given, right, or there are certain things given here, right, through which you definitely can make this clear in your mind. Okay, this has happened, it means the chemical reaction has taken place or the chemical change has taken place. You can see the first thing which is mentioned over here, that is change in state, right. क्या हुआ है? Change in state. Now what do we mean by the change in state? Change in state means if there is the change in state like solid to liquid, the conversion of solid to liquid, right, liquid to gas, or gas to liquid, or something like that, right. So this is what we generally call it as in, right, the change in state. In the second activity, you see when the dilute sulfuric acid reacted with the zinc granule, what was happened? Yes, the hydrogen gas evolved, right. So there was the change in state from the liquid to the gaseous state. Second, you can see there is a change in color. I have not given an example yet, but if you remember, in your seventh standard, you had this an activity when you will keep your iron nail into the copper sulfate solution, right? Then the color of the copper sulfate. What was the color of the copper sulfate? Blue, right. So the blue color of copper sulfate will change it into the green color, right. So why does it happen? Because that blue color of the copper sulfate, yes, reacts with the iron, right, and that's why the solution from the copper sulfate becomes the iron sulfate, and the color of the iron sulfate is green, right, and there will be the coating of copper on the iron nail. Am I clear? Right. So the change in color even can be an example or through which we definitely can make this thing very clear that there is a chemical change has taken place. Third is evolution of gas. The second activity I've just said, right? The reaction of zinc granules and the dilute hydrochloric acid. There was an evolution of hydrogen gas. Change in temperature. There are a lot of reactions and activities or changes in our surrounding in which there will be the change in temperature will definitely be there, right. If I give an example, then you must be aware with this that when we used to do the whitewash at our home, right, and when the calcium carbonate is getting soaked in the water, we are advised not to touch that, or we are advised that we should use to, I mean, we should use the wooden block or the wooden stick or something to stir it and to mix it properly. We should not use our hand. Why? Because when the calcium carbonate is reacted with the water, it produces the heat, right, and due to that heat, madam, that heat is in an extreme amount, right, and due to that heat, there are the chances that your skin get burns, right? So the change in temperature, even in indication through which you definitely can make this thing very clear that there is change in state. There is chemical change taken place, or there is the chemical reaction has taken place. Understood? Right. So here we have given it four indication: change in state, change in color, evaluation of gas, and change in temperature. Let's see what we have. The signs of chemical reaction. Here the same thing is given which I've just explained: the change in color, change in state, evaluation of gas, and change in temperature. Change in color may you can see I've given three different colors: the red to green, green to purple, or something. Right. Change in states means solid to liquid, liquid to gas, evaluation of gas. So you can see in the third figure there is a gas and the bubbles coming out from the flask. Right. And change in temperature, there is the arrow given green in color, which shows the rise in temperature. Okay. Right. Okay. Next we have the chemical equations. As I've just said, what is a chemical equation? The chemical equation are the symbolic representation of the chemical reactions. Right. See, when a magnesium ribbon is burned in the oxygen, it gets converted to the magnesium oxide. This description of the chemical reaction in a sentence form is quite long. It can be written in a shorter form. The simplest way to do this is to write it in a form of a word equation, right? So the word equation for the above burning magnesium ribbon reaction would be: magnesium plus oxygen gives the arrow, the symbol of the arrow, will call it, yes, gives, it gives magnesium oxide. Is it clear? The same thing which I've just said, that to write it in a simple sentence form will be very long, it will be too long, right? So to make it short and sweet, right, as you all know that we are lazy kind of in one, right? So we always used to find the shortcuts to write it in the simplest form. So the chemical equations are the simplest form of writing the chemical reactions. Am I clear? See, the chemical equations. When we are writing the chemical equation, it has the two parts. Uh, as you guys can see over here, you can see there is the arrow sign, right? So on this arrow, we'll divide these sides into two parts: the left hand side and the right hand side. Okay. Now, this left hand side and the right hand side has two different components. The components on the right hand side, on the left hand side, are known as an reactants, right? And the components on the left hand side, the components on the right hand side are known as an products. Am I clear? Right. So you can see what do we mean by the reactants. Reactants means the elements or the components which are taking part into the chemical reaction, right, which exactly make the chemical reaction possible, right? It is known as an reactants. The substances that exist before the chemical change or reaction takes place are known as an reactants. Now what do we mean by the products? The new substances or the substance that are formed during the chemical changes are known as in products. Okay. So the chemical equation indicates the reactants and the products of a reaction, just like this. As you can see over here, the reactants gives products. I hope this is clear to you, right? Okay. See, the word equation shows the change of reactants to products through an arrow placed between them. The reactants are written on the left hand side, and we used to write it LHS in the short form with a plus sign between them. Similarly, the products are written on the right hand side with the plus sign between them. Okay, let's see the next point. The arrowhead points towards the products and shows the direction of reaction. Is this clear? Right. Here, if you would have an idea that there are of different chemical reactions, right? The reactions, reversible and irreversible reactions and all, right? So when you will study this kind of an thing, like the type of chemical reactions, the reversible chemical reaction or non-reversible chemical reaction, then you will be you will be having this thing very clear that what exactly this arrowhead means to us. Okay, but this is what we are going to study later on. Okay, till now I hope you guys are clear with the explanation which I have done just now. See, writing a chemical equation, we have just given an example of the word equation, right? In the word equation, what we have done, we had done the magnesium plus oxygen. So we actually wrote magnesium, right? But do you think we need to write actually the magnesium? No, we can write its symbol, right? So instead of magnesium, we definitely can write Mg, right? And for an oxygen, we can write O2. So this magnesium and oxygen are reactants. So we have wrote them on this left hand side, and there is a plus sign between them. Okay, this arrow shows the reaction, right? So how the you can see that the arrowhead is from reactant side to the product side, right? So from this it is clear that the magnesium and oxygen is going to react with each other and is going to form MgO. What do we mean by the MgO? Magnesium oxide. Am I clear? Right? Okay, so this is it. This is the simplest form of writing the chemical equation, right? I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay, here we have the next topic, the balanced chemical equation. Mass and mass can either be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. That is, the total mass of the elements present in the products of the chemical reaction has to be equal to the total mass of the elements present in the reactants. Okay, so you must be knowing this. This is known as in the conservation law of mass, right? So what does it mean? The mass in the universe is remain constant. We cannot produce the mass, nor we can destroy the mass, right? So whatever the amount of reactant has been used into the chemical reaction, right? So product में भी हमें उतना ही mass मिलेगा, right? So we are supposed to keep LHS is equals to RHS, right? That is known as an balanced chemical equation. In other words, the number of atoms of each elements remain the same before and after the chemical reaction. Hence, we need to balance the skeletal chemical equation. So each and every time whenever you write the chemical equation, right, it is very very important to balance it, right? And how do we do that? We just need to keep this thing in your mind, in our mind, that if there are the two atoms of hydrogen on a right hand side, right, or on a left hand side, then it has to be same on the other side of the chemical equation. Is this clear to everyone? Right, so this is a balanced chemical equation. Now how to do the balancing of the chemical equation is a very important task, right? So it will be difficult for me to explain over here right now. So what will I do is I will share a link of a YouTube video with you, right? And from that you definitely can see and learn how to balance the chemical equation. That video will make you it will make you clear for sure. Okay, right? And if you have any doubt related to the balancing of chemical equation, then you definitely can ask me in the next session. Okay, so today we are keeping our session here. In the next session, as I've said, I'll be sharing the video link for the YouTube video, right? You can go through that video for the balancing of chemical equation. If you have any problem, you can ask me. I'll solve your doubts regarding the balancing of chemical equation, and then we'll move further in this chapter. Okay, so bye everyone.